So here I am. I'm trying to keep my voice down because it is a little bit late. Um, this says that it's 7:50, but I happen to know that it's actually 9:50 local time. So people are probably starting to go to sleep. But I'm in Lake Okoboji, Iowa, and the best part about knowing that that's the truth is that I can hear crickets really clearly through that window over there. And I've already seen the groom. We went to pick up some groceries. I had not brought deodorant with me since I've been taking a lot of stuff out of my suitcase for trips. Actually, gosh, I might actually have a thing of deodorant in my suitcase that might have not been necessary, but better safe than sorry. But yeah, Ben, my cousin Ben, was picking up dog food and a bunch of other essentials. He is relaxed for this weekend. Some would say too relaxed. There's been some pressure on him to finish his playlist for his for the reception, basically. But I don't know how crucial that particular part of the experience is. I think I would just let the DJ do what he do best. That's just me, though. So, I, on the other hand, I got up at 4:30 this morning, Seattle time, which would have been 6:30 here. And we were out the door at 5:30, and we were at the airport before 6:30. Actually, we were at the airport just after 6, which is a good thing because our flight left at 8:20, I think was the scheduled departure time. But I got stuck in the TSA line for quite some time. Apparently they were using some sort of dog to sniff out stuff, but I think with the recent shenanigans that happened at SeaTac Airport just, I think, last week, they have decided to up security a bit. So things are going very slowly. And in fact, for the first time, I actually had to take out this and my iPad that I brought with me because there are supposed to be no electronic devices left in your bag when it's going through the security scanner. So that was a little quick thing that I had to do right at the end as fast as I could. And then I was on the plane, and this is my vlog, so I can do what I want with it, and I don't mind saying. There were two babies, well, a toddler and a real infant on my left, and another baby behind me. And the one on the left was the troublesome one. Only during takeoff and landing, while we were in the air, they were completely quiet. I forgot they were there. But I was traveling with my parents. My dad managed to swing seats where we were all sitting roughly in the same area. But then my mother ended up in a seat that was being taken by the family behind. They wanted to switch so that they could all sit together. And so they asked her kindly to sit 10 rows ahead of where she was supposed to sit, which meant fighting against the traffic that was coming down the plane to get into their seats. And then they asked me if I would be willing to trade my seat with her, not realizing I was her son. And I think at that point we were all pretty well settled and wanted to stay in our seats, so that's what we did. And I don't blame a family with a new baby that wants to stay together for a flight because they're worried about their kid having a rough time. My dad tried to do that as many times as he could when I was growing up. And I flew a lot when I was a kid because my dad was a pilot, so I didn't always get to sit with my folks. And sometimes I had a rough time because of that when I was like 6 or 7. I still get anxious flying, actually. You would have thought that I'd, having taken at least a trip every year of my life, that I'd be well and truly used to flight traveling through the air by now. But there's something about the motion of the plane, usually the dip, the sensation of falling is not something I like, and it puts me on edge. But the flight went okay. Got off the plane pretty quick, and then then we all piled into a single Chevrolet Suburban and drove for 3 hours to get to the lake. That actually ended up being very nice. I've been stuck in the back seat where there is not a lot of leg room for a gentleman of my dimensions. But I've had my phone and I've been listening to that podcast, Critical Role, and having a fine time, really enjoying myself, relaxing. If this whole trip was just car rides, I'd be fine. Maybe not if I had to drive a whole bunch, but my sister, who is also traveling with us, is an official permanent designated driver because she's pregnant. But she's a trooper too. She's put up with it really well. And Chris is there to take the wheel if anything else happens, my brother-in-law. So I've been regulated to practically baggage, but I'm sort of okay with that. I'm actually really okay with it because it is just nice to be back there and not have any expectation placed on me for navigation or anything else, which I'm rubbish at anyway. But here we are at the Lakeside Lodge at Okoboji. This is technically a Presbyterian church camp. You don't have to be Presbyterian to rent a room, though, which is a good thing. And it's very reasonably priced. And it has Wi-Fi. Well, I hope it does. I'm connected to the internet. I don't know how good the speed is, but I'm going to try and upload this now and just have that go. Probably take about 10, 15, maybe half an hour. We'll see. But tomorrow is the rehearsal dinner, which doesn't even seem like a rehearsal because we're just going to be in a boat going around the lake for 2 hours. There's my air conditioning kicking in. I've got the room set at 70 degrees, which seems just fine, and is probably going to require a lot less of this thing being on because the weather's been pretty cool overall. But yeah, I'm very tired, so I think I will be going to bed pretty early tonight. And the reason my eyes look funny is because this lamp is right above me and is very bright. I wonder what it would look like if I did. I'm still here. Yikes. It takes a second to deal with that. But anyway, yeah. I'll have more for the vlog tomorrow after I've seen everybody and said my hellos and whatnot and gone through the rehearsal dinner. Hopefully it won't fall off the side of the boat. That's the only thing that could possibly ruin this weekend. So I'm Eric Spornitz, and tomorrow will be better.